After watching this program, I believe you'll never be the same. Well, I hope so anyway. We'll introduce you to parents who have opened their hearts and homes to children who desperately needed a permanent family. And for some kids, it was only for a season. Oh, there have been a lot of struggles along the way, but in the end, love won out. Stay with us to see how they and you can change children's lives whose number one hope and prayer is simply to have a mom and dad. Christy Obie Barrett always knew she wanted to have a large family. Her journey with adoption and foster care began when she took in two boys, one a relative and another who lived down the street. After seeing the difference this made in the boys' lives, Christy and her husband continued to adopt. They currently have 3 biological children and 9 adopted, spanning from 36 years of age to a 1-year-old. Christy's passion for children who are searching for a forever family led her to found A Family for Every Child in Eugene, Oregon in 2007.
I had made some goals for myself, and one was to make a difference with foster care. And so what seemed like the first step was to file for a nonprofit, to create a business. And I knew that it was going to be focused on getting kids out of foster care. I didn't really know at that point how that was going to happen or what was going to, it was just a leap of faith. A couple things set us apart. We have programs, high-touch programs on the ground working directly with kids, and that we have a very high use of technology. And so we've really tried to be cutting edge, and I think that's one thing that really sets us apart, is that we can reach more people faster, quicker, cheaper.
Tell me about your partnership with the Heart Gallery.
So the Heart Gallery was an organization started by Diane Granito in New Mexico, and she was a social worker and really wanted her kids to be seen in a better light. And if you look at any site that photo lists kids for adoption, you will see what we call the mugshots. Lined up against a wall, not good shots that really are just not doing kids any good at all. The Heart Gallery was really a way to have kids come off the page, to allow people to see the potential in the children and actually to relate to them. And so we have 50 venues. So a venue is a setup of photos anywhere from 3 to 50. And we have 50 of those around in the state of Oregon and Washington. They're in grocery stores, airports, YMCA, doctor's office. There's really no place, banks, there's no place they can't be. So you just want people seeing them. And so when people see them and they see good pictures of kids that they can relate to, that look like their kids, that look like their neighbors' kids, then they see the potential in themselves. They say, well, maybe I could do that.
Your agency tends to focus on sibling groups, minorities, and children with special needs. Why is that?
We focus on the hardest to place. So we think that because we use technology like we do, we can reach more people. It is not true that siblings are hard to place. It is a total myth.
Really?
People do not need to break up siblings. Siblings go quickly. And I think there's some appeal to families, and I can't honestly say that it's a bad thing. When you adopt a sibling set, they have a built-in support system that you won't have with a single child. It can soften the blow for a family.
Christy, why is permanency so important for a child in foster care?
If a child moves on average of 3 times a year, they're not getting educated on anything, let alone how to manage money. They can't get a driver's license. They leave care ill-prepared. Not only that, but every time a car pulls up in the parking lot of their house, are they moving? They have post-traumatic stress at double the rate of vets. If you could imagine just living with that, okay, well, you're moving today. Or they're picked up at school and they don't even get to say anything to their family. It's not a way that we should be raising children. It was created as a Band-Aid, and it should be a Band-Aid. It should be a safe place that kids go until they can be reconnected with their family or until they can be placed with a safe family. It should not be a lifestyle, and it is a lifestyle.
Sadly so. Mm-hmm. How many children do you think are in foster care throughout the United States?
500,000.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
500,000 kids. Coming up, we'll meet a family who has turned an old church into a unique home for their ever-growing tribe. Jay and Linda Parmele have been married for 7 years. Prior to meeting, they both had a heart for children in foster care. Jay was involved with the foster care system 5 years before he met Linda. Together, they each have 2 grown children from previous marriages. But they wanted to continue to help kids in need of a permanent home. They've since adopted 4 children: Devin, Miley, and twins Mary Music and Emma May, each with beautiful names they chose for themselves. What inspired you guys to become foster parents at this stage of your lives?
I know during your life you want to help, and then you get through life. Sometimes you struggle yourself, and you never get to do it. You never do what you think you should do, and we had an opportunity. So the kids come last sometimes, and they put a priority on the parents and their well-being more than the kids, and to send them back to a situation. Kids are in foster care 5 times before they get adopted. That's not giving the kids the best shot.
Let's talk a little bit about your home. I understand you bought a church and you've remodeled it into a house.
Well, we started dating right after he bought it.
So how many bedrooms is it?
We got 7 bedrooms, 2 kitchens, 4 bathrooms, 5,500 square feet, a bell tower with a bell.
The original bell.
The original
is still
bell,
there.
I mean, it's huge.
It's pretty unique.
I mean, when we get so overwhelmed with projects and kids, we go, maybe we should get something different out in the country or something, but no, we're fine, we love it.
Jay and Linda have worked with a family for every child to continue to provide a temporary or permanent home for foster children. Later this year, they plan to expand their family by adopting 3 siblings from California. And their home remains open to kids in need of a stable and loving family environment. It's a home where camping trips, beach vacations, and karaoke nights make for special memories.
We can just stay home in our own house, and Jay can start singing, the kids all sing. We have lights that he's put that go on the floor, and they're all bright lights.
Kind of like a big kid sometimes.
It's just a huge dance floor, and the kids think this is just what we have made this house catered to them.
Just imagine the memories that you're building together.
You're right. Yeah. I mean, you think back of positive memories that we have growing up, those are invaluable.
Mm-hmm. Miley sang when she had only been at our house about a month, and Jay started teaching her how to sing karaoke, and she sang the song Hero, and I will never forget. She sang, "And then a hero comes along," and she looked at Jay and me, and I just started crying. Just something that I will never forget, because I don't think we even realized the impact we made until that moment.
Why did you choose to work with a family for every child?
A friend of mine, she had done foster care for years, and the kids, after she had had them a while, when they went up for adoption, a family for every child would help find homes for them. And so she told me once, "You guys should adopt." She goes, "Do you realize there's a huge need for permanent homes for children in foster care?" And we're like, "No, we just wanted to help kids, we just thought they all went home." But after fostering 25 kids, and the majority of them did go home, we thought maybe that's what we should do. And we looked at kids on the website of a family for every child every night.
Great people here, and they really care about the kids, and they're professional, and they get it done. And if you deal with the state, you're gonna have nothing but headaches.
Well, and Devin
and
was
heartaches,
a foster child that we went through the state.
We're lucky to have the caseworker that was, his caseworker, phenomenal lady, just cares so much about Devin. She saw it, she made it happen.
How many kids have you fostered over the years?
She's counted, what, 25?
I think 25, yes. I think that just having stability and giving the kids experiences, because whatever group of kids we had, if we've taken foster children to Disneyland, I mean, we've taken them camping. Legoland. I mean, we just try, no matter if they're going to be with us for 6 months or a year, or we don't know, we just try to give them fun experiences.
Experiences count for a lot in a kid. I mean, it could be the 4-year-old girl that went to Disneyland with us. You know, she'll never forget that.
In a moment, we'll meet a woman whose personal experience with the foster care system inspired her to foster and adopt. Christina Sutton spent her childhood bouncing in and out of foster homes, experiencing abuse and loss of family and friends. After living in nearly 30 different locations by the age of 10, Christina ended up in a children's home due to a shortage of foster homes. She never gave up hope of finding her forever family, but life in the foster system made for a difficult and lonely childhood.
The hardest part is not having unconditional love and never being able to experience that. I know how to give it, I just have never received it in my life. And I know what it feels like because I know how it feels to give it, but sometimes I wish that I could get that back in return.
Did you ever dream of being adopted?
Absolutely. I took it as far as to write to Ronald Reagan, the president, to be adopted. I wanted a mom and dad so bad that just loved me for who I was, not because I was fat or had scraggly hair or what I looked like, because I couldn't help how I looked. Nobody took care of me. I always assumed that it had something to do with me personally, because I knew I was smart inside and I knew I was capable of loving. I was fun. I would be like what I would want for a kid, so I couldn't understand why nobody wanted me. And so I wrote to the president, begging him for a mom and a dad. To this day, I know how to be a mom, but I still don't know what it feels like to have a mom or a dad. And that's one thing, if I could do anything to change anything for a child's life, is to make sure every kid gets to know what it feels like to have a mom and a dad. The only concept that I even have is what I learned from other people. Like, I ask people, what's it like? How's your parents? You know, how does your relationship work? And that's how I learned to be a mom, because I asked questions, I read books, I educated myself.
Christina has now been married for 10 years and is passionate about helping children look for permanent families. She currently has 12 kids, of which 6 are adopted and 5 fostered, along with 2 grandkids. Each came from unique backgrounds, some more challenging than others. I talked with 3 of the adopted Suttons, Sarah, David, and Elliot. Sarah and David are biological siblings and are grateful they were able to be kept together. All of them remember the hardships that come with being in the foster care system.
It was horrible because I had to move a lot and it was pretty bad.
It was difficult. It wasn't really anything that I would do again. Just skipping school, like from school to school, you forget a lot of information. So it's just kind of hard to keep up. And then I've been in a lot of foster homes, so now it's just easy to stay mellow and stay here.
What was it like when you found out you were here to stay?
It was a relief.
Yeah? Weight off your shoulders?
Yeah.
How grateful are you to be able to be part of this family and be together?
I'm really grateful because, I don't even have words. It's just awesome. Like, a family, it's just amazing. They didn't really treat you like you were a foster kid. If we were walking in public, she wouldn't say this is my foster kid, Sarah, or this is my foster kid, David. She'd say, these are my kids, Sarah, and that's something that my other foster homes didn't do. So that made me feel really, really good.
David, how grateful are you that you can stay here with your sister and be part of this family?
I feel really happy because I get to spend time with her and play games.
What do you like most about your mom? Sarah?
She tries to meet our needs. She tries to make us happy, like what a mom should, do. And she goes over and beyond what we ever expect.
Did you ever struggle with taking care of so many children from different backgrounds and situations?
It is difficult. sometimes with the children, because they come from so many unique backgrounds and so many things, you know, they learn one set of skills from their parents, or they feel that that's kind of the way that life should be. So every time a new child comes into our home, everything kind of goes up in the air and you have to start all over again. And some of the kids that were on track aren't on track anymore, and but we all adjust. Sometimes during the day it's a struggle, because, you know, you get sad because of the offensive things that they might say to you as a parent that, you know, maybe your biological kid would never even dream of saying to you. But these kids are hurting. They have pain. They're broken. There's broken pieces to them. And it's our job as a community and as people to love these kids and have them be wanted.
What's the best thing about fostering and adopting?
It's given life to a child that wouldn't necessarily be able to have that safe life, and being able to teach them and share with them.
Being a harbor in the storm, so to speak.
Absolutely. I think you have to have I think a lot of people, more people than not, can do it, but I think that you have to have compassion, you have to have a big heart, and you have to be able to separate your feelings. You can't be completely emotional, but you also can't be too hardcore. So you have to find that balance, and that all comes from educating yourself and being involved in support groups and knowing what you're getting into. And once you know what you're getting into, everything else just follows.
When we return, we'll hear what you can do to help kids in desperate need of forever families. Since 2007, A Family for Every Child has grown to a staff of 20 and over 900 volunteers. Working to place children with loving families is a team effort, and they've witnessed many successful stories. But there are still thousands of kids without a loving home. Foster care isn't for everyone, but for those considering it, the rewards greatly outweigh the challenges. What advice would you have for parents who are considering foster or adoption?
You have to have an agency behind you, and so you have to like anything you do, you have to interview agencies. You know, we have a place on our website that says frequently asked questions. What are they going to do for you after your home study is done? How are they going to help match you? What are they going to charge you for? What are all the fees associated? Will you get a copy of your home study? You know, we really try to teach them how to advocate for themselves.
What would you say to those who are afraid or intimidated to jump into this?
Doing some research on foster care adoption, the kids that are in foster care, you know, reading some bios, learning about, you know, there's lots of blogs out there about foster care adoption. That will help alleviate them, perhaps getting involved in a local organization that serves foster kids so they can really kind of put some of those stereotypes out the door. You know, these are good kids that have bad labels, and they may or may not be true.
Read up on it, study about it, ask questions, know what you're getting into, and make sure that you're going to do it for a lifetime, because if you're doing this temporarily, it's more of a hurt than it's going to be a help. These children get moved from place to place to place to place. It breaks them inside even more, because it becomes internalized. It becomes, there's something wrong with me. That's why they don't want me. And so you need to make sure that if you're going to foster or adopt, that you're in it for the long term.
What would you say the best thing about fostering and adopting is in your experience?
Just seeing a change, you know? Helping a kid learn how to ride a bike. You know, just simple things.
Joy in the simple things of life.
Things you take for granted.
You make sacrifices, but you're helping out.
Really change a child's life, don't you?
Change your own.
In a lot of ways, you get to relive some of the magic in life, because you're getting a child who, you know, it's just like this woman who adopted this group of 7. She says that the oldest boy, who's 15, thanks her every day for everything she does. You know, whether it's protecting them or feeding them. I mean, these are not things kids should be saying thank you for. These should be ingrained and expected in their life, right? And so that really, you know, those things are really gratifying to know that one person can make such a huge impact. I mean, you're breaking the cycle. I mean, it is a cyclical, generational cycle. So these kids that we have in foster care were either raised by parents that were not equipped to parent because they were not shown how to parent. And so if you can take a child and show them how to parent and show them a different way of life and have them parent successfully, that's huge outcome.
You don't have to be rich, brilliant, or perfect to open your heart and home to children who need a forever family. What you will need is love, unconditional love, and lots of it. You can be their shelter and anchor in their stormy world. You can be a refuge of hope, love, and security. Please give it your prayerful consideration, and thanks for watching. Families like the Parmeles and the Suttons have opened their homes to children longing to be part of a family. They spend time together having fun and making memories that'll last a lifetime. Now you can have this great GoPro camera that makes it easy to capture all of your family memories throughout the coming years. Simply visit our website at facinglife.tv and enter for your chance to receive this as my free gift to you. While there, find out how you can get a copy of today's episode on DVD to share with others, and check out the resources available regarding today's episode.